You have been called cold. You have been labelled distant, aloof, or suddenly antisocial. Like a house that has finally installed a heavy oak door after years of leaving the entrance wide open, your sudden boundaries feel like a betrayal to those who benefited from your lack of them. They miss the version of you that was always available, always accommodating, always absorbing their chaos. But here is the twist. You are not antisocial. You are an empath who has finally learned the paralysing, beautiful art of self-preservation. You have stopped setting yourself on fire to keep others warm, and the silence you now carry is not emptiness, it is clarity. If this channel has helped you understand yourself even a little better, please hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps more people find this content who need it. For years, you believed your sensitivity was a burden you had to carry alone. You thought your inability to tolerate chaos meant you were fundamentally broken. Here is what most people misunderstand about highly sensitive people. Your withdrawal is not a retreat from the world. It is a necessary neurological recalibration. After years of absorbing the emotional labour of others, your system finally demanded a ceasefire. You are no longer performing for an audience that only applauds your depletion. You have walked away from the one-sided dynamics that left you empty, and in doing so, you have forged a new, untouchable clarity. You are reclaiming your life. Think of your nervous system like an ancient open-air temple. For decades, every wind, storm, and passing stranger blew right through you. You felt everything, absorbing the unspoken grief and hidden anxieties of everyone in the room. But here is where it gets really interesting. When you finally build walls, the people who only loved you for your openness will call you cold. Neuroscience documents this clearly. Your mirror neurons, once hyperactive and absorbing every ambient emotion, are finally down-regulating to protect your core. You are not shutting down, you are actively regulating. That is not antisocial behaviour, that is immunity. You are simply refusing to let the chaotic weather of other people's moods dictate the climate of your own mind. You have realised that your peace is non-negotiable. This is where the real danger begins for the energy vampires in your life. For years, you were the designated healer, the one who absorbed the betrayal, the burned bridges, and the shattered egos of those around you. You performed the exhausting emotional labour of keeping the peace while your own foundation quietly collapsed. Documented research on empath burnout shows that this chronic one-sided giving creates profound cognitive dissonance. You knew you were completely drained, but you were gaslighting yourself into believing you just needed to try harder, to love deeper, to fix them. Now, you have permanently stepped back. You no longer offer your nervous system as a dumping ground for their unhealed trauma. You have recognized the manipulation for what it is, and you are done. Here is a fun fact that genuinely blew my mind. The act of setting a firm, unwavering boundary actually strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the brain's center for rational decision-making and self-preservation. Every time you say no to a narcissist or a manipulator, you are literally rewiring your neural pathways to prioritize your own survival over their comfort. You might feel a sudden pang of guilt, a ghost of the old you who feared being misunderstood or labelled as difficult. But that guilt is just an echo of a distorted past. You have consciously chose peace over performing. You are no longer available to be destroyed by people who mistake your profound kindness for weakness. You have drawn a line in the sand. You were told you were too intense, too deep, too much. But here is where the narrative completely flips. The people who called you too much were simply too empty to hold your profound depth. When you are a rare, sensitive soul, your very existence acts as a mirror, reflecting the hollowness of those who refuse to do their own inner work. They labelled you difficult to avoid facing their own glaring inadequacy. You have finally seen through this subtle manipulation. You are not too much. You are exactly enough for the right people, and permanently gone from the lives of those who could not appreciate your whole, transformed self. You have stopped shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Now here's the part that makes this genuinely dangerous to certain people. When an empath finally establishes true discernment, they become utterly unpredictable to those who relied on their endless compliance. You no longer jump when they call. You no longer explain, justify, or defend your fundamental need for space and solitude. You have simply walked away, leaving them to face the silence they tried to fill with your energy. This quiet exit is the ultimate reclamation of your personal power. You are not running away. You are finally arriving home to yourself. You have built a sanctuary within your own mind, and the drawbridge is permanently raised. That is not coldness. That is sovereignty. And here is the truth nobody tells you. The exhaustion you felt was never a sign that you were broken. It was your soul's alarm system ringing, warning you that you were giving your sacred energy to people who would never value it. You thought your withdrawal meant you had lost your capacity to love. But the opposite is true. By fiercely protecting your peace, you have preserved your ability to love deeply, but only on your own terms. You are no longer a sponge for the world's pain. You are a sovereign being, forged in the fire of your own boundaries, whole, untouchable, and finally, gloriously free. You have learned that the most radical act of love you can offer the world is to keep yourself whole. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Your sensitivity is not a curse to be managed. It is a rare, beautiful gift that requires a fortified, sacred container. You did nothing wrong by needing space. You did everything right by choosing yourself. Which of these signs of self-preservation hit the hardest for you? Let me know in the comments below, because I read every single one. And if you know someone who is currently exhausted from giving too much, share this video with them. Consider it an act of compassion, a quiet reminder that they are allowed to walk away, that they are allowed to choose peace, and that they are never, ever too much.